Shalom. All praises to the Heavenly Father. Apukuya. Praise be to the earthly mother, the Pachamama, and all of her earthly angels, the Ekadeshwe. Praise be to the Holy Spirit, the Kahe. In the name of Hamashiach, Motsah the Lamb, unification to the nation. So, guys, this video is another one of those videos, you feel me? But I just got some questions, man. I was chopping it up with my brother, Chief Atali, my tribesman, and he brought something to my attention that is pretty incredible. And it was about the Yamasi tribe, right? The Yamasi Indians. And Chief Atali, I'm about to share his website real quick, because he's the reason why, I'm kind of making this video, because he led me down this path. And there's a lot of weird things going on with the Yamasi tribe. I just see so many conflicting accounts. And one part, they're helping Hernando de Soto capture Indians. And in another part, they're the ones who are, pretty much losing the war and whatever. I'm just like, this is weird, bro. This doesn't make any sense. Right? But anyway, we were building, and he was telling me how, while his tribe claims to be, they don't really claim to be, but it's pretty much in their tribe. It's in their oral history. It's in some written accounts that they have a relation to the tribe of Judah, and that they came from a place called Cusco. But he also told me that another tribe called the Yamasee, another, quote-unquote black person who's from that tribe, claims to be a Moor, claims to be Nubians. Isn't that pretty crazy? While one tribe is claiming to be Judah, another tribe that's right next to them are claiming to be Nubians or Africans or Moabites, right? Or Egyptians. And we're going to get into them a little bit, but this is their website, ykmtribalservices.org. Check out the website. He was telling me some good stuff, man. Being able to provide our people with citizenship to the entire continent of the Americas. Pretty crazy stuff. And he said that it would be rather easy for them to find my maternal lineage. Not me. I don't know about my paternal lineage, but it would be easier for them to find that. They're working on passports. So pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Give them a check out and let me know what you guys think, so I could let him know. But anyway, who are the Yamasee? And this is coming from the Moors. This is not my opinion. This is coming from them. We, the Yamasee tribe of Native American Moors, are a branch of the Olmec Moors, known as the Washitaw, the Mound Builders. And I've actually made a video about this. I made a video about this a while ago. I believe it was the Romans in Brazil, part 4. And how I was talking about how Moab and Canaan were the original mound builders, quote unquote. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but what I do know is that they're involved. They could have been commanding the Israelites to be the mound builders, and now they're just saying that they are the mound builders. Or they could have been the mound builders because they're descendants of Canaanites. Because the Canaanites were also known as the megalithic builders of the old world. Right? The giants. So that's pretty interesting. But let me go down. I'm just trying to find where I want to start. these languages and not in Arabic or Hebrew, then whenever they made reference to our rights, what we owned, and what we did as the civilizers of all of Europe and all of the European coat of arms, you will find us as a race, not being called Negro or African or colored or Nubians or Afro-Americans, but rather Moor. The word Moor is sometimes spelled from the French mur, both coming from the ancient Romans, Greek Maurus. They're related to all of these peoples, right? They're all because all these are the Phoenicians, or are really the ancient Egyptians. And you know what? Let me open that up real quick. This is gonna lag my computer even further, but it needs to be done. We opening up Brother of Jared, so I could show you guys. I was saving this for my Olmec video, but like I just my time is just so short. Like I could get in trouble for even, just taking off from work just to make this video. But I gotta get some information out, man. So let's go back here while that's loading. Let me see what I was looking for. No, it wasn't here. It wasn't this website. Let me see if this loaded. And it came to pass that Aki saw the house of Israel dwelt in a land of a far country, and their doings passed in this manner for the space of many generations. Now an important transformation had occurred among the house of Israel, and they were among the hirelings of the king. So they were the hirelings of the king. They were mercenaries, right, of quote-unquote Egypt. And they came to dwell separately from the people of the king, because of their language and custom. And the people of that land kept only a few animals, for they were gardeners along the banks of the river. And it was an abhorrence to keep them. Let me start over. It was an abhorrence to them to keep flocks, and pass through the earth in search of pasture, and to move to and fro upon the land. And they considered those who lived in this manner to be undisciplined and rude. Do you know where most of the pasture and flocks are? Like when people are living with live animals and stuff like that. That's actually the majority of that is in South America and sub-Saharan Africa. As well as India, but that could just be because of the sheer amount of people. And they do it, for a different reason. They do it because, of their religion of worshiping cows and things of that sort. But I'm literally talking about moving with cattle, right? And they refrained from eating or mingling with them. But the king of this land had many hirelings and slaves. and large flocks were required to provide for their support. Thus was the nation of Israel known for its skill in herding the flocks of the king. You see that? So they were known as shepherds. And it came to pass that Semihazes did not forget the vision of Israel, and he put it into the hearts of the kings in this place to make the nation of Israel content, that in this way they could intermarry in marriage somewhat with the people. So guys, do you really think that we always looked how you think we looked? I'm just asking you. Do you really think that's the case? As I've already shared, how can we look a certain way when the other Shemites do not look that way? Are they mixed or are we mixed? We have to ask these questions and be humble. And in this way, they could intermingle in marriage somewhat with the people. Again, this must have been prevalent for it to mention it in this book. And also pass out of the land as the hirelings of merchants and shipmen. And thus were they scattered abroad in the course of many generations. And those who remained were content, as they were hirelings in the ancient trade of their fathers. So there you go. These were the ancient Phoenicians. The Israelites were a part of the Phoenicians, the ancient Phoenicians. And they got comfortable. They did not leave in the Exodus. They stayed, scattered abroad as mariners and things of that sort. They were doing that. Then another group of mariners came about during Solomon and David's time. Right? But this group is going to look quote unquote blacker. Why? Because they're mixing with the inhabitants of Egypt or Mizr. Right? Like, come on, you got to add it up. You have to add it up. Let's move on. Because I also came across this regarding the Yamasi tribe. Whenever this loads. The New Huabians, the Washitaw, and several groups claiming to Yamasee all peddle these ideas. Most of them are heavily armed. Well, it seems the Yamasi Indians may have an African connection. Let's skip down. The most peculiar thing is that this person in his book on the human race asserts that the fact that the African lived on these islands long before the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus. And of course, when he's saying African, it doesn't necessarily have to mean African. But we have to take note of the fact that, there are people saying that they were here first, right? And it's only coming from really one area. Right? It's really only coming from one area where people are trying to exclaim to the heavens that they were the first Native Americans. I'm only seeing that among the people of the east coast of North America. I'm only seeing that from them. Not all of them, but as we've gone over, the Black Americans, the people of North America, they're a very diverse group of people. They're not one people. Not at all. They're not one people. So we shouldn't be surprised when you have people who look just like you who come from different seed lines. You shouldn't be surprised at all. Right? But again, just because the Europeans are calling certain people African, they're just painting a broad brush. You had people who were very dark-skinned, right, on this continent, from a long time ago. Right? With or without any Egyptian admixture. I'm just saying that. Like, they don't necessarily know who's who. They're just saying it based on their observation. But the Yamasee or Yamasee were one of a small number of isolated tribes of dark complexion found widely scattered among the inhabitants of North and South America. supposed to have been immigrants from Africa prior to the European discovery of America. Very interesting. Now, again, I don't know if they're necessarily African. I don't know that. Just because I don't know. But check this out. The Yamasee is a town in the Ashanti region of Ghana. Now, this also doesn't mean much because, Ghana's in West Africa. But many of the Gullah people, or what are they called? They're called Gullah something. I forgot the other name to it. But a lot of those people, they say that, they came from West Africa. They're West African origin. I highly doubt that. It seems more likely that they were shipped to West Africa. That's much more likely. And they're trying to inflate these new peoples who got to West Africa as the indigenous peoples, so they can paint a narrative. But they're not, right? But that's just what it seems. Moving on. And this is out of their own mouths, right? It's out of their own mouths. The Ayuchita Tunica, the Eye of Heru, light or light revealers of light, Washitaw, Washitaw, She, Olmec, and in parentheses the Dogon, the Mandingo, known as the Egyptian Nubians or Ethiopians, the Lenape, right? Lenabe, Al-Nube, and the East African, Afrakan, Dinka people that largely dwell in Egypt and Sudan, Nubia, Kush region. They were the ancient Egyptians. All of those groups, bro. That's what they're saying. These people know who they are. Does that mean that every single person of the Mandinka tribe are all Egyptians? As we just went over, do not have cognitive dissonance. I just told you that these tribes are very mixed up. They're not one group of people. There is some sort of association with the Mandingo or the Mandinka and the tribe of Judah, but there's also an association with the Egyptians too. So I'm just putting that out there. They were the ancient Egyptians, Kemetan, Tamarian people, Amaru, Amen, Ra, followers of Amen Ra, Amuru, Saga Murs, original people. And I don't know about all this, but listen, I'm just letting you guys know. A lot of these people, the Egyptians, the Moabites, they're coming back to who they are. They know who they are, right? These Negroes know who they are. And we're gonna get to some stuff, man, because people love saying, "Oh, we were here first. We're the originals." I give you that. You truly are. You truly were. Let me see what I wanted to read here. Yeah, never mind. I was going to read this, but I need to do more research on the Yamasee, honestly. That's kind of what I concluded from this, but this led me somewhere else. Cuz I just have questions. I'm just asking questions. I'm not making any conclusions. But I just have questions because the Yamasee, they teamed up with the Catawba people. And I just find it really weird that the Catawba people are also called the Esau people, or the Esau Indians, ESAW. And they took that down because that used to be listed as one of these words. But instead they removed it from here because people were making videos and they put it over here. So I just find it very weird that, this group of people who today claim to be Nubians and Africans and Moors and the original mound builders teamed up with the Esau Indians. I'm just asking questions. I just got questions, bro. Now check this out. Because they love saying, they love talking about Bering Strait crossings and, yo, those Indians crossed the Bering Strait. And I'm just wondering, man. I'm just wondering, who are these quote unquote black Indians who love saying this? Who loves, like, because not all black people act like these people. Not all of them act like them. So it's not all again, we got really mixed up. But the ones who act like this, who love saying that the other quote unquote Indians, they came here in the 1300s, that they're the Mongols. But then when you actually look into the Mongols, you find that they're connected to the Israelites. So I just got a question in that regard. Because every time I look into these quote unquote Mongol Indians, why do they all connect to the Israelites? And why every time when I look into the black Indians, they all connect to Egyptians and Moabites? Answer that question, please. And they also connect to the Israelites. But these Mongol quote unquote Indians, why do they connect to the Israelites and they don't connect to the Egyptians? But your black ass does. I just gotta ask these questions, man. But anyway, the Olmec, Wichita, Moors, Yamasee, mound builders planted the seed of civilization in the Americas. Black Indians. See how excited they are? Black Indians. Right? We're not like those tawny Mongols. We're black. Right? And that's cool. Listen, black is beautiful, bro. That means you're indigenous to the planet. Right? But we're not all the same sorts of black people. We're just not. Some people, they didn't like the fact that I showed them how Sarah could have looked. And if Sarah looked a certain way, then we're going to look a certain way. Right? Put the pieces together, man. The Wichita were direct descendants of the Olmec, who mixed with the Malian Moors. The Malian, the West African Moors. The name Wichita comes from the Washitaw River, which flows along northwest Texas and Oklahoma to the Red River, where the Cheyenne, I think that's how you say it, Native Americans lived, with the Chawasha, meaning raccoon people. The Washoe were a Negroid tribe living above the New Orleans Bayou and were the Tunisian linguistic stock. The name Wichita is a derivative of the term Ouachita, which is now Wichita. The term is a Choctaw term which means big arbor, which represented the grass thatched homes. The Wichita were originally from lower Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. Named the Nubian Sudanese Alibaba. Bro, I can't make this stuff up, man. This is crazy. The tribe was officially named Wichita by the U.S. government in the Camp Holmes Treaty of 1835. The Wichita were also known as Pani Wasaha, or by the French Pani Osa, which means Black Pawnee. French traders from Illinois called them Pani Pique, which means tattooed Pawnee. The Wichita or raccoon people were called raccoons because of their black faces. When describing the Wichita, the French describes the blacks who lived in the large grass houses. The tribe is the descendants of the Olmecs and Toltecs of Mexico. They tell you. They tell you, bro. They tell you who they are. Now, if you have these people who are the Egyptians, right? And the Bible says that the Israelites came and conquered these lands. They conquered Canaan. They conquered some of the Egyptians here. They conquered the Moabites here, right? So please tell me, who are the Mongol Indians? Are the Mongol Indians actually the Israelites? And are these people the Egyptians? Listen, man, people who actually really look at things, when they actually study and they're not trying to push their own narratives, they come to that same conclusion. I've seen it happen. I've seen people just come to that conclusion and stop making videos or delete their whole channel. I've seen it happen. You know what I mean? I've seen it happen. It's foolishness, that's why. The haplogroup Q is the most scattered haplogroup probably in the whole world. You know? Like, come on, man. Look, Return of the Ancient Ones. These niggas got books, bro. They want everyone to know where they come from. It is known from skeletons that have been found that some of the original mound builders were giants, reaching some 7 feet or more in height. The only other race of people who often get as tall as this are the Maasai in Africa, who are again a black people. Could these mound builders be the giants referred to in the Holy Bible? See, they know, listen, they know who they are. They know that the giants weren't only white, right? They know that. We're going to get to it. Because we got to, listen, we got to find out who people are, man. Now, just to preference this before I share the scripture. Do the Israelites, can you have a flat nose and be from the seed line of Jacob, right? Can you? Yeah, because it's about a seed line, right? So please, I ask you that you do not get offended when I share this, okay? Many of us have different sorts of noses or whatever, right? We do. Whether you're black or another group, like I've seen flat noses all over the place. But the same way how it talks about leprosy, the same way it talks about blonde hair, let's see what also is a blemish, right? This goes hand in hand with the video I did on how did the Moabites look. This is Leviticus chapter 21, verse 18. For whatsoever man he be that hath a blemish, he shall not approach a blind man, or a lame, or he that hath a flat nose, or anything superfluous. So having a flat nose or a nose without a nose bridge, that is some sort of deficiency. Why? Because as we went over, that comes from incest. You not having a nose bridge comes from some sort of incest that occurred in your background. Right? And I've just noticed that many so-called black people, not all of them, because again, they're very mixed up, but many so-called black people, they don't have it to the point where it looks like a Moabite, but you could tell that, you know, some of their lineage may come from there. The same way you can have someone who's a mix between a quote-unquote Asian and another group. You can tell that their face is kind of flat, but not really too flat. It's the same thing. Let's see what a flat nose looks like. Oh, this is so funny, bro. This is kind of silly. Let's see what a flat nose looks like. Look at this. This is a flat nose right here. So-called Asian face. But there's a so-called black face or African or whatever. I don't know. But again, do our people look like this? Yeah, they do. So I'm not even using this to say who people are today. I'm not. But I am saying this to let people know. Where do you come from? Where do you come from, bro? Who are your forefathers? Have you gotten hijacked by Africans? Or are they trying to make you their descendant just because you've mixed in with them? They know who they are, bro. I could have really went hard with this. I could have made a lot of connections to the West Africans And the Washitaw or the Olmec or whatever, I could have did that really heavy. But I'm going to do a little bit of a connection. Because look at this. How did the Dogons, Malian Moors / Olmecs arrive in America? The Dogons were already on American land because they simply sailed over by way worldwide wind and currents. The first Africans to set foot on American soil were in fact the Dogons of Mali. You see that? So they're connected to the first quote unquote Americans. These people of West Africa. They were the first, right? The second group of Africans to land in America were under the leadership of Abu Bakari in 1311. What are you talking about? And had mixed in with the Olmec and became known as Washoe. The third group of Africans to land on American soil were Idrisids, who were the ruling dynasty of southern Morocco and Mauritania. You see that? And they came where? In the 1700s. So, now when we look into the Dogon, that was an interesting thing to claim. I looked into their DNA, right? And they have a very weird DNA marker. They have the haplogroup E1A. Now, you've heard of E1B1B, E1B1A, but have you heard of E1A? Well, that's the majority of what these people are in this area of Niger and Mali, right? They come from that haplogroup. It's very bizarre. But these are the first Americans, right? These are related to the first Americans. First Americans. You first here, right? You an Olmec, right? But does that mean that you're an Israelite? Or does that mean that you're a Canaanite? I don't know. You know, I judge by the Spirit. I don't really get involved in stuff like this. But they have that haplogroup, and it's kind of only them. Right? It's in other groups too, but it's strangely popular in this area, and it's among the Dogon people. And then when I looked into this haplogroup, I found something very interesting. E1A has been something of a stepchild compared with the two major subclades of E1B1A and E1B1B. Recently, a number of us who had been designated well, I don't need to read all that. I just want to read the fact that it's like a stepchild of these two migration patterns, right? And when you look into the Dogon, their language is unlike anyone else's. They have a very different language. And they say it may belong to the larger Niger Congo family, but it doesn't. It's actually, their language has nothing to do with the Bantu languages or the other Nilotic Semitic languages. It has nothing to do with it. So look, they speak the Dogon languages, which are considered to constitute an independent branch of the Niger-Congo language family, meaning they are not closely related to any other languages. Who are these people? I don't know who they are. I don't know. But I know they're the first Americans. They first, bro. Are you sure you know who you are? I just find it funny because a lot of the Mongol Indians, quote unquote, they all have a name for who they're from, what tribe they're from. The Aztecs said that they're the sons of Issachar. I have a whole book. I can give you the book. They say it out their own mouths. A lot of these quote unquote Mongol Indians, they tell you who they are. A lot of the brown skin Indians, they tell you who they are. A lot of the black Indians, real dark Indians, will tell you who they are. But you have another group of Indians who are here even before all those other groups, and are claiming some sort of birthright to this land that they're not supposed to be on. Searching for the roots of the first free African American community. There's an article that came up when I was looking for this haplogroup. And would you guess what haplogroup is associated with some of the first free, quote-unquote, African American people? The E1A haplogroup. So, who are these Negroes, bro? Who are these first Americans? Are they Canaanites? Are they Moabites? Are they Hamites? Are they all three? Now, I did this video a while ago, a few months ago, and we spoke on who Ham truly is. And I showed you that he lives pretty much stretching from along the Nile toward West Africa. That was kind of his area, and I'm sure he went into the interiors of Africa as well. But that's pretty much where he first settled. He first settled along the Nile. Canaan is not literally the son of Ham. He was adopted by Ham. And he lived among the people of Ham. So, we went over the fact that Gadal is actually the forefather of Canaan. He is the father of Canaan. He is the paternal father of Canaan. And when we look into the country Niger, they speak a Gadal language, and they say it's also called the Tagdal language. And of course they're going to change it around now, because would you guess something? This link that I have open in this video, it no longer exists. They literally took it down. Literally took it down. After I made this video, they took it down. So, hey, nothing new, bro. It's happened before. But I want you to pay attention to that. Because where is it? It's in Niger, right? Well, where was that haplogroup found? Where was that DNA marker found? In Niger. So, hey, when these Moors, when they're telling you who they are, they tell you the fact that they're the ancient Moabites and ancient Canaanites. You have to believe them. When someone shows you who they are, you believe them. That's Maya Angelou, right? You believe them. Listen, in the words of Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, you believe them niggas. Look, Gadal is also called Tagdal, right? I'm just showing you here because they took down the site, and I looked it up, and I'm just like, Google's acting like it's never seen that before, right? And where are the Tagdal languages? This is literally the same page, but they took out the word Gadal. Like, it's not here anymore. If we search it up, it's nowhere located on the page. That's very troubling. Because it was literally down here, bro. It was literally down there. What the hell? Anyway, what does Gadal mean? Because this is the forefather of Canaan. Gadal means to grow, to become great, right? To become tall, to become wealthy, to become rich. Were the Phoenicians not rich? Were the ancient Egyptians not rich? What were they supposed to do with this blessing of becoming a great, rich nation of commerce? What were they supposed to do with it? It says in the book that they were supposed to be a righteous people. That was their vision. And what did they do with it? So, I just found it interesting that it also means to become tall. I just found that interesting. Now, the Gadal language, spoken in Nilo-Saharan languages, Songhai languages, Northern Songhai, Tahitian. Tahitian is proposed by Robert Nokolai, a collective term for the spoken, this is bad English, but by nomads in central Niger dialects, Tagdal and Tabarog, belonging to the Northern Songhai. And this means language of the blacks, right? Okay. Listen, man. I'm trying to guess who Canaan is. I'm trying to guess. Some things just aren't adding up though. I'm not too sure anymore if those white giants are actually the Canaanites. And they're just the Anakim. And not necessarily the Canaanites, but I don't know. It's hard to know. The Dinka people are the tallest people in the world. Like, from a whole group standpoint, they're the tallest people in the world. You know, they average at 6 foot 4 inches. So, are these people related to these ancient Wichita mound builders? These ancient Olmec mound builders? These ancient Egyptian mound builders? Are they related? And all the princes of Nimrod and his great men took counsel together. Phut, Mizraim, Cush, and Canaan with their families. And they said to unto each other, Come, let us build ourselves a city, in it a strong tower, and its top reaching heaven. So these are the people who banded together in the Tower of Babel. Phut, Mizraim, Cush, and Canaan with their families. They all banded together and built the tower. Where was the Tower of Babel? It was in Turkey. As it seems, it was in Turkey. So they all came together to build this, right? Okay. To go back to the video, part 2, Ancient Nations of the World, we spoke about the origin of the Native Americans. Actually, yeah, I guess that's relevant, because the Jaredites were pretty much the nation that the Most High made, the strongest in the Americas. And what I'm finding out is that the Jaredites connect with the ancient Egyptians, and it's right. Listen, they understand this. They understand that they connect with them, which is very, very bizarre. Well, I'm gonna show you. I'm kind of all over the place, but I hope you guys are following me. Check this out. This is the Book of Jubilees. And Ham and his sons went into the land which he was to occupy, which he acquired as his portion in the land of the south. And Canaan saw the land of Lebanon to the river Egypt, that it was very good. And he went not into the land of his inheritance to the west, that is, to the sea. And he dwelt in the land of Lebanon, eastward and westward from the border of Jordan and from the border of the sea. There you go. Where's Lebanon? I said that's around California. That's what he took. Canaan took the coastline. Ham, his father, and Cush and Mizraim, his brothers, said unto him, Thou hast settled in a land which is not thine, and which did not fall to us by lot. Do not do so, for if thou doest do so, thou and thy sons will fall in the land and be accursed through sedition. For by sedition ye have settled, and by sedition will thy children fall, and thou shalt be rooted out forever. Dwell not in the dwelling of Shem, for to Shem and to his sons did come by their lot. Cursed art thou, and cursed shalt thou be beyond all the sons of Noah, by the curse by which we bound ourselves by an oath in the presence of the holy judge, and in this presence of Noah our father. But he did not hearken unto them, and dwelt in the land of Lebanon from Hamath to the entering of Egypt, he and his sons until this day. And for this reason the land is named Canaan. Whew. To the river Egypt. So did they settle along the Mississippi? Now I actually made a video regarding who the first giants of California were. Now they actually weren't black giants. They weren't black giants. Check this out.
Gathered Examiner, November 10th, 1929 edition, it was written, Glidden claims overwhelming proof that a fair-skinned, fair-haired, highly intelligent race of a great stature lived on Catalina Island, off the southwestern coast of California, perhaps 3,000 years ago.
See that? Glidden claims overwhelming proof that a fair-skinned, fair-haired, and highly intelligent race of great stature lived on Catalina Island, off the western coast of California, perhaps 3,000 years ago. Right? That's what he said. But who were they? Fair-haired, fair-skinned race of giants. Were they albino Africans? Were they Caucasians? I don't know. Now, it seems like a lot of the people who've actually seen them, they actually describe them as being Caucasian looking. Right? So, I don't know. It's hard to know. I don't remember what this video is. Oh, I remember. Yeah, I wanted to touch on this because, you know, this was something that was huge when people were looking at an awakening, and they love to push the fact that, oh, these Mongols, right? Whatever, bro. Let's see something, because they tell them themselves. Look, they're showing the Mayans, right? They love showing the Mayans, right? They love showing the Mayans. They're saying, oh, the Mayans were dark skinned. Okay, cool. Fine. I get you. I got you. Let's continue the video, though. Then you show the Olmec, right? Now, do the Olmec look like the Mayans phenotypically? No. No, they don't. But you'll show them because they're dark skinned, right? But then you'll show this picture right here. If I could get to it, because this computer lagging. They'll show those group of people, and, you know, believing that those are the original people, right? Hold on, let me show you. They'll say, oh, the Afro-Mexicans, those are the real Mexicans. Then he shows these people. I don't know what he means by this, because these do not look like, quote-unquote, black people. These just look like dark-skinned Mexicans, right? They're not phenotypically like, quote-unquote, black people with thin beards. Like, what are you talking about? But, hey, whatever. Whatever. The Olmec and the Mayan do not look the same. The Aztec and the Olmec do not look the same. The Olmec look like a totally different people. The Mexicans, they don't show you on TV, right? When you look at the Afro-Mexicans and their DNA, it shows that they came there. They came there from another population. They weren't necessarily there. Now, that doesn't mean all of the Afro-Mexicans, but some of them, the ones that they're like, these people, looks like they got there recently. It's in their DNA. But they got there from somewhere else where they were probably inhabiting for a long time. But were they in the land of Mexico? That's hard to say, bro. But you cannot just see black people and think they were there first. Because then you're just being disingenuous. Because you're not looking into deeper research. If you're claiming people are Mongols, then why don't you actually look into their history of how they got there? Why don't you look at who they say they are? And why don't you try to work with all the groups and try to figure out this whole big puzzle instead of just pushing a narrative? Look, you'll show these people. Tell me, what black people look like this, bro? What faces look like that? This is too damn common, bro. They're not showing noses like that. They're not showing noses like that. So, again, this is a lot of doctrine. There's not enough humility. They're supposed to be Asians. Okay, fine. Cool. But, you know what? It is what it is. Regardless, we're about to find the truth out very, very soon. Now, this is something that I wanted to show you guys. Because this is what connects the Olmec to the Egyptians. The Naphtahim, probably of Egyptian origin, but of uncertain meaning. A Hamitic tribe of Mizraim's descendants, from Genesis chapter 10, verse 13, and 1 Chronicles chapter 10, verse 11. The plural form of the name seems to indicate a tribe sprung from Nalfeth. I don't know what that means, but check this out. What does this mean? This name in particular, you know what this means? It means the ends of the earth or land, the seashore, Mexico. Mexico. I'm gonna show you, bro. Because why am I saying that? Because the people of Mexico said that that's who they were. During the 1680s, this dude Carlos got access to Aztec and Toltec documents and wrote histories of Mexico, giving us some interesting information about the original settlers of Mexico. Góngora said that he arrived at the curiously defined results that the original settlers, who descended from the Naphtahim, son of Mizraim, the son of Noah, who left Egypt for Mexico shortly after the confusion of the tongues. Hold up. Who was at the Tower of Babel? Mizraim, Cush, Phut, and Canaan, right? And Nimrod, right? So who got scattered all around the world? A bunch of Hamites. Right? So them coming from a tower makes sense. Them coming from the tower makes sense. And maybe these are not necessarily even the Jaredites. But it does seem to me that the Jaredites have some sort of relation with these people. Because Jared left with his friends. He did not only leave with one group of people. And who were at the Tower of Babel? I just showed you in Jasher, right? Nimrod brought the families of Mizraim, Cush, Phut, and Canaan. Right? Let's read this Book of Mormon. The group departing from the Promised Land was comprised of the families of Jared and his brother and their friends and their families from the Tower of Babel. They left the Tower of Babel, right? Right. The friends of Jared and his brother were in number about 20 and 2 souls, and they begat sons and daughters before they came to the Promised Land, and therefore they began to be many. You see that? So who were the first Americans? Are you sure you want to be a first American? Maybe that's who you are. It's not about what you want to be. But this is to let you know, like, you have to be careful of what you're saying. You have to choose who you are. You can't be both. It doesn't make sense for you to be both a first American and an Israelite. It doesn't make any sense. Naphtahim is a plural form of Nephet, which comes from honeycomb. It means the honeycomb people, in other words, the beekeepers, or the people of Deseret. And it talks about how, it says that in Brother Jared too, that Jared and his people brought over bees. when they crossed over from China, right? So they could have this name for multiple different reasons. One, they dwell at the ends of the earth. Two, they're beekeepers. They came from a tower. 3, are you an Olmec? Are you a Wichita? Are you a Yamasee? Are you a Hamite? Are you all 4 or 5? Something to ask, man. The Nahubian movement is an American religious group founded by Dwight York, also known as Malachi Z. York. York began founding black Muslim groups in New York in 1967. He changed his teachings and the names of his groups many times, incorporating concepts from Judaism, Christianity, and many esoteric beliefs. In the late 1980s, he abandoned the Muslim theology of his movement of Kemetism and UFO religion. In 1991, he took his community to settle in upstate New York. Then they moved near to Ayatonton, the county seat of Putnam County, in Georgia. His followers built an ancient Egypt-themed compound named Tamari. These Negroes know who they are, bro. Tamari was the original name of Egypt in the Americas, and changed their name to be the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors. Check this out. The group has taken numerous names, including Ansaru Allah Community, Holy Tabernacle Ministries, United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors, Yamasee, Native American Moors of the Creek Nation, also used in Georgia when York claimed indigenous ancestry via Egyptian migration and intermarriage with the ancient Olmec, and Nuwaubian Nation of Moors. Who are the Olmec, bro? Well, we're going to figure it out, bro. If you don't know, we're going to figure it out. I have to get back to work. I hope I'm not fired, bro. That's not even funny. Like, seriously. But whatever. That's all I got for you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. May peace be with you. Selah Kala.